lot of people panic buying from supermarkets, it seems, recently. I guess just because of all the weather and stuff too. And what's going on today? I guess with crazy weather, how's about the title of this one? It's kind of interesting actually when you think about it too with this article. It says, "It was crazy violent. Drones too close to aircraft spark concerns in Tampa Bay." Actually, this point here kind of reminds me of what I said before. It says here, concerns over drones flying in unauthorized airspace and crashing into airliners continues to grow. Experts believe it's not a question of if it will happen, but how bad it will be. As I mentioned before, ironically, with all these over-the-top regulations in many ways for every single type of drone, it will eventually happen under whenever this stuff is introduced, like whatever rules and stuff are presented to people, which makes you think, is it actually doing anything overall? In June of 2018, John Marking was working on an off-road desert race in Mexico when his chopper was hit. Saying here, quote, "All of a sudden the helicopter got flung sideways at about a 45-degree angle and the loudest noise imaginable. It started to vibrate horrendously," Marking recalled. "We made a quick call to the race team to tell them we were going down and where. The aircraft had been struck by a drone." And they mention how things, for example, they say that drone can go right through the windshield of the helicopter, and there's been so many reported sightings to the FAA, about 40 of them or more, according to this anyways. And it says here, Marking says he never saw the drone that nearly downed his helicopter. Okay, you're so positive it was a drone, yet you didn't see it yourself, plus there was no recovery of a damaged drone around the area at all as well? What is going on here? It's contradicting, isn't it? As well with the things like the sightings, it hasn't been a mystery. Well, it is, I guess, for the mass majority, but there have been so many reports that ended up being nothing, and even non-drone related news like that jetpack man, like what, it ended up being a balloon potentially, that's it? I mean, you have to consider whether or not they're just saying it's a drone because that's the hysteria at the moment. And then with that thought of sightings, I mean, think about this, it's the exact same article too. It says here, quote, "In terms of drones, we like them, they're cool, but you gotta know what you're doing," said Marking. "It's almost impossible to spot a drone from an aircraft." So it's almost impossible to see a drone flying by, yet so many people, like all these reports say it's a drone. How does this make any sense when you really think about it? Do you just read like, I don't know, a headline or something like that, and depending on what kind of bias you have, it's like, aha, there we go. I mean, actually read into this stuff. It doesn't make any sense. I mean, that's been the consistent theme so far. It's a drone, for sure, 100%. Did you see it? Nope. Did you get anything out of it? In terms of, I guess, parts of the crashed drone? Nope. How come there was so many Apple-related stuff recently? This one says they're going to sue a company claiming their software and stuff is being used to compromise people's phones. It says Apple sues NSO Group to curb the abuse of state-sponsored spyware. Apple also announced a $10 million contribution to support cyber surveillance researchers and advocates. Apple today filed a lawsuit against NSO Group and its parent company to hold it accountable for the surveillance and targeting of Apple users. The complaint provides new information on how NSO Group infected victims' devices with its Pegasus spyware. To prevent further abuse and harm to its users, Apple is also seeking a permanent injunction to ban NSO Group from using any Apple software, services, or devices. Sounds pretty serious. According to them too, it says NSO Group creates sophisticated state-sponsored surveillance technology that allows its highly targeted spyware to survey its victims. These attacks are only aimed at a very small number of users, and they impact people across multiple platforms, including iOS and Android. Researchers and journalists have publicly documented a history of this spyware being abused to target journalists, activists, dissidents, academics, and government officials. So it wouldn't be just an Apple thing, I guess, it would be an Android thing as well. And I was trying to look it up a bit, and apparently their defense from news articles I read is that you shouldn't blame them because they're just a creator of the software and it was meant more for things like military use. For example, like this software says, Pegasus spyware seller blame our customer, not us for hacking. The maker of the powerful software allegedly used to hack the phones of innocent people says blaming the company is like criticizing a car manufacturer when a drunk driver crashes. Would you agree with that, I guess, where, hey, they're just a developer. They can't control how people actually use the product. which in some cases, I guess, would actually be a valid defense, so to speak. I guess it really comes down to what evidence they have on whether or not they encouraged that type of behavior, per se. Right. See you guys later.